Hello everyone. I hope the sound is working. I think it is. I hope the chat is working. This is my first time doing a live, so I just hope everything goes well. The crafting is not gonna go well, probably. That's not what I'm talking about. Mostly the technology. I have been doing some Instagram lives, but I haven't done a YouTube one yet. And so far, it seems like it's not focusing. And I don't really know how to fix that, but I do have my Glimmer hot foil machine heating up, and I see the chat is working. Hi Anna, how are you? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna try a couple of things here just to see if I can get it to focus. But I don't think I can. Let's see. It's heating up anyway, so I'll just keep talking and hope it works. I can't get it to focus, but it might just be the internet. Either way, let's get into foiling. Sorry about that. Oh, it does look focused for you. Okay, that's all I need. If you can see me fine, that's good. Hello, Veronique. Thank you so much for joining me. So, let's get into this. Again, the hot foil machine is still heating up, but this is what I'm going to be using today. This is the hot foil set by Spellbinders that just released yesterday. It's the Just For You hot foil set, and it comes with the coordinating dies, and it comes with these sentiments as well. So when you have this, you have all you need. I'm going to be using this and some hot foil, but as it's still heating up, let's show you some more of the goodies that released yesterday. The Essential Hearts, love that. I always love a good heart die set. And the sealed bouquet, I really like these flowers. Maybe I can show you an example as well. I showed this in my video yesterday, but these are some of the flowers, but these are the lovely sealed bouquet flowers. I really like them. And then you also have the floral reflection, which is this one. So you cut that large part twice, and then you fill it up with flowers. I really enjoyed making all of these cards. And then you also have a new solid hot foil plate in a heart shape, and you can cut it out with the coordinating dies. The medium size heart cuts it out perfectly. Okay, let's get into foiling. And now I have a lot of mess on my desk, which I just cleared away for the live. Very typical. So I'm going to be using champagne hot foil, also by Spellbinders. I really love the pale gold. And I'm just going to cut a strip of that with my scissors. These long shears by Tim Holtz are really handy for foil. Oh, hope that was wide enough, actually. And then I can put this down. Yes, it is wide enough. Good for me. Now I did foil a backup one just in case the foiling didn't work right now on the live. And I already have one sentiment hot foiled, but let's foil the other one as well. And that should do it. And then I just tape everything in place. I use very low tech washi tape for this because the masking tape I usually use is a little bit too strong and it mostly damages my foil. So I don't use that anymore, especially if you want to use a solid hot foil plate afterwards. It's not the best. but this works wonderfully. I don't think you need to tape everything in place this well, but better safe than sorry. I'm gonna put this with the hot foil plates down onto my platform. And then I can hit the timer button and then we can wait again. I should have saved the card show off till now. Now, what I discovered recently is that it actually matters which way you place the shims. It is in the instruction, but I don't read those often. So you do need to put the thin shim down first because it's actually harder plastic and your foil results will look better. And then you put this one on top. If you need, it depends a little bit on your die cutting machine. If you need more pressure, just put a couple of paper shims in there. But again, don't put them underneath the thin shim because the softer the surface is that you're foiling into, the more overfoiling you're gonna get. And we don't want that. Let's put this aside. Oh, timer button is done. Then I can remove this and I'm gonna put this through my die cutting machine. I have the really large platinum die cutting machine, so I can't fit it on camera, but I'm rolling it through very slowly once, and then I go back, and usually, fingers crossed, that gives me a good impression. I'm gonna slide this back in and then not burn my fingers. The plates already came off, but that's just because I use very low-tech tape here. I think this worked well. I always want a really satisfying reveal. Not just on camera, I do this off camera too. So I always peel the tape off first and then I peel back the foil. That's just for my viewing pleasure. That is the best foiling impression that I've got from this one so far. So very happy with that. You can save the negative piece and do some reverse foiling as well, but we're not gonna do that today, I don't think. Or should I show you? I probably have the time. Famous last words. Let's put this back in, get the hot plates off. I always burn myself doing this. Okay, hot plates are off. I love that champagne hot foil. It's very different from the gold. Can I show you a comparison? Yes. This is the gold, very yellow, and this is the champagne, which is a lot more pale, and I really like it. Oh, hi. Thank you so much for joining. So the chat is always a little bit behind, so 20 seconds delay or so YouTube says. It's probably a little bit more. So if you type a message, I will see it and I will get to it. But sometimes there will be a little bit of a delay. Let me get another piece of paper here. And I'll show you the hard solid hot foil plate. Now I don't know if I cut my piece big enough actually, but we'll see if it fits on there. So again, this is a solid hot foil plate by Spellbinders. They do have a circle, an oval, they have a diamond shape, they have a smaller rectangle, and these are great for one layer cards, which I never make, but they're still really fun to work with. It's just, I always feel like the foil is going to waste otherwise. So let's see. Let's put this on, and I do press the timer button on, but with a solid hot foil plate, you always want to leave it on a little bit longer. You can't overfoil it, so it's best to leave it on as long as you want. Let's clean these up. And then I can also add the dies to this. So this is the coordinating die. It comes in the set. And I'm just gonna line that up, which is what I'm very bad at. There's not gonna be too much lining up today. I actually, I'm very prepared for this live, and I usually am not. When I do them on Instagram, I have no card IDs in mind usually. I just have a product to work with, and that's it. Today I have all the pieces cut out already. I have backups made. It's a miracle. Let's line that sentiment up as well. There is just a regular sentiment strip included, but I really like the dovetail ones. Are they called dovetails? I don't know. Oh, and you do want to make sure that if you use masking tape to hold your dies in place, you do want to make sure that none of it touches the foil, because anything slightly sticky, even your fingers, if you have oily skin, is going to damage the foil, or has a chance of damaging the foil. And we don't want that. I'll run this one through first, and then I can show you the heart as well. Then I run that through twice. And now I can definitely turn my machine off. I'm not going to be using it anymore today. And there is the heart. And that also foiled really well. Foil is always so hard to show on camera, but I'm really liking it. So I'll probably cut that out, make another card with it. But yeah, you can get this with the solid hot foil plate from Pinkfresh Studio as well, and then you can cut it out. But these shaped ones are really great for one layer cards. And also, if you actually cut your foil big enough, this can be another card. The negative space of that heart and just a little bit of foliage peeking out, that would be really fun. Put some flowers in the center maybe. I really like that. Okay, putting this one away. I'm gonna die cut this. Let's get my plates back. Sorry for the noise. Die cutting on camera always comes out so noisy. I hope it's okay. You really do need that solid heart. It's really fun. Oh, I have cracked plates. I have very damaged plates, but they still cut, so it's fine. Sentiment strip, that's not straight at all, but it's okay. Now I'm going to color these with my alcohol markers, which is what I love about foil. When you do heat embossing, you can't color with your alcohol markers because the heat embossing actually damages your markers, or could damage your markers. Can I zoom in? Because this is a very wide angle. Oh, this zoom function is not loving me. Sorry about that. Okay, that's not focused. Might be better if I zoom back out. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on it. Now for the colors, I was thinking I'm gonna have a blue background or a teal background. I already know that. And for the flowers, I was thinking the big one could be really pale pink and then some orange for these flowers, a little bit paler than that probably. And this is one of my favorite things. I make these swatch charts almost every time I make a card where there's a lot of coloring. And that way I have a marker combination swatched out, but I also have other colors that I used it with. So it's really, really helpful when you make a card to see if these colors go together. Yeah, that quality is terrible, so I'm gonna zoom back out a little bit more. And also go back in frame. Okay. Let's pick out these markers. I'm gonna base it off of this pale pink. I still have to pick out the markers from my giant box. We have R29. We have, these are Ohuhu Markers, by the way, R18. And I really enjoy them. I wasn't entirely sure what to expect of the nib because I'd never worked with a brush nib before, but I like it. And then I do want to make it a little bit more pinkish. Where is the R23? I should have picked out my markers before I started this. Lessons learned. R23, there it is. Now before I actually color on my beautiful little flower, I'll swatch it out and see if I actually like the combination. Just a scrap piece of cardstock will do. This does look neon, but I know it dries back at least a little bit, I hope. And it also helps if you just layer on top of it. Wrong one. R29. That is very pale. Maybe I should go a little bit brighter. Maybe a little bit brighter. This also helps, the swatch charts. Let's see what works together. I really like that R12, but it might not work with the teal I had in mind. Okay. Attempt 2. This one, we already have the R23 and then the R110. This is going to be quite a bit darker. I like it. Let's see for the, what was I thinking about? All right, the orange. This one, I like that one. A4, one R4. So where are you all from? I am from Belgium. And I have a very long weekend ahead of me, which I am very excited about. I really needed a break. So happy about that. White 10, white 10, white 10. There it is. Again, gonna swatch these out just a little bit because there's actually two of these markers. Yeah, that's what I thought. And they are completely different colors for some reason. This should be a little bit more orange. Yes. Okay, got these ones sorted out, and all I then need is some green. And I'm just gonna go with, I'll pick those out later. I have some good green combos. I am from 20 seconds in the past. Okay, you win the best comment. You get the card I make. No, I was gonna do that one in pink. Still fine. The paper I'm working on, I just realized I completely forgot to link that one up in the description below. I think all of the other supplies are linked there. Probably not the foil because I wasn't entirely sure which color I was going to use yet. Oh, these are very tiny. I'm just going to color those in solid. But the paper I'm using, which is what I started saying about 3 minutes ago, was the Clairefontaine DCP 250 GSM cardstock. You can use any weight of it, but the lighter weights, you probably want to put a blending mat underneath them. The Ohuhu markers actually come with those, but I think they're available separately as well. They're just little plastic thingies. You put it under your coloring so it doesn't bleed, but it also keeps the color in the paper. Your paper stays wet a little bit longer, and it makes blending easier. I wish I had a shade between these two, but it'll be fine. I'm gonna color this in very crudely first, and then we'll actually darken it up if I go over it a couple of times. Now, the great thing about foil is also that it resists the alcohol markers. I don't think there's any other stamping medium that you can use that resists alcohol markers, because even white embossing powder or colored embossing powder, if you go over it with your markers, not only are you going to ruin your markers, but it will color the embossing powder, which is actually a fun trick for embossing on black cardstock. If you have a nice solid stamp and you use alcohol markers, ones that you don't like, over white embossing powder, you can create any color on black cardstock that you want. Hi, Ingrid. So happy you could join me. Whenever I look at the comments, I still see your comment of 20 seconds in the past, and it still cracks me up. So thanks for de-stressing me. I needed that. For the background, I am going to use probably my favorite product from the new Spellbinders release. I mean, I love this hot foil plate, but it's not super versatile. I still want to find out more ways to use hot foil plates than just hot foiling. But that's for another day. But I am loving the embossing folder that is in this Floral Reflection release. There's actually two, I think, two 3D embossing folders. And the other one is really, really pretty too. I should probably get that. It's got a bunch of flowers on it. It's really, really pretty. Perfect for spring, which is weird to say in November. It's spring weather still. It's so warm here. These markers aren't great color matches. It takes a little bit of work to blend them together, but it's okay. That was a long silence, sorry. I was concentrating on coloring. Okay, one flower done. Can I cook and hang on it? Okay, so I don't have a link for the markers. I'll make sure to put them in the description below when I am done with the live. But they are on sale actually. I should have linked them. They're having a Black Friday sale. I just saw that on Instagram. Anyway, can you cook an egg on it? I don't think so. Maybe if you're very patient and you like your eggs a little bit runny. But it does get very hot. I don't think you can actually burn yourself on it, but it's definitely not comfortable. I'd say I test it out for you if you can cook an egg on it, but I really like this machine and it's not that cheap, so I'm not gonna check it out. Oh, Anna, that is amazing. Yeah, that's a good tip. For my tea, I always let my tea go cold when I'm crafting. So I didn't like that there wasn't as much contrast as I was expecting. So I'm going back in with the darker marker. The darker marker, that is hell for me to say. And then I blend it out immediately with the lightest shade instead of going through the mid-tone again, because then you're just darkening everything up. And it's not what we want. I'm seeing myself on the, or my hands, I guess, on my laptop, which I set up to read the comments. But it's also 20 seconds in the past, and it's confusing me. Oh, that's the wrong one. No, it's all right. Also, sorry about my voice. I am not feeling my greatest today. I had the booster shot, but that has nothing to do with it. But I have been coughing all day. It's been very annoying because I had planned to record so many videos and I didn't do it. And then I almost canceled the live, but I really wanted to do a YouTube live. I love orange and pink together. I don't usually go for shades this light though, but it goes with the champagne hot foil. I like it. Oh, I have noticed, not with this foil, but I just thought of it. If you use some darker foil and you color with your markers with a very light marker, sometimes the color seems to bleed a little bit, the color from the foil. Maybe that's just me or these markers, but it was weird. It only happened once. I don't do foiling that much. Still experimenting with it. But that didn't make much sense to me why I would do that. Okay, once more for this one, and then I can color in the leaves very quickly. There aren't that many of them. I think I'm just going to do that with one shade of alcohol marker. No, I can't do that. There has to be a little bit of shading. Okay, done. Now, green. Already have a perfect one there, but let's go through them. I use green so much. That one might be better. A little bit more muted. Yes, let's do that one. Not that dark though. The background is already gonna be dark. GY8. Next time I really need to pick the markers. Because this is a huge box. I think there's more than 200 markers in there. So this is very stressful to find while people are waiting. Yeah. See, and then that happens. Can't find the next color. G060. And I know they're in here. It's not that large an area to look in. Why am I like this? Okay, let's start with these and we'll figure it out. Maybe I should do the darker marker. Okay. We're coloring with the cap, GY43 for anyone following along. Okay, if you have very good eyes, you might notice that there's a little bit of ink on that leaf, like alcohol marker ink on that one, where the foil should resist it. And the foil does resist it. These are just very juicy markers. So the ink lays on top a little bit, sometimes. It will dry eventually, but you can still smudge it. And the best way to get rid of it is just to take your colorless blender over it, and you can take it right off. Or you can just not color over the lines like I'm doing. Not that difficult to not do that. GY8. This is probably my most used green combination. I really like a muted green with bright, bright flowers. The great thing with leaves with like split up in very small sections, no one is going to notice you're blending. I'm glad I added a little bit of shading. Only took a little bit more effort. Once that's done, we're going to move on to the background, but I'm probably not completely finished with this actually. I might fill in the whites as well, but I am loving this. So pretty. I do think the quality is a little worse when I'm zoomed in, so I'm gonna try to fix it again. Probably gonna regret this. Oh, come on, don't show my messy desk. Okay, let's stick with that. For my background, we're gonna start with some colored paper and I want to say baby wipe, but this is actually a dryer sheet. I think I bought the wrong thing, but they're still a little bit moist, and that's what we need because I'm gonna do some embossing. Well, the center is where I'm at, Anna, so if that's not focusing. Okay, so you want to make your paper a little bit moist if you're using 3D embossing folders, because otherwise it's gonna crack. And you can just splatter on paper with a spray bottle, splatter on water with a spray bottle, that works. But I don't like it, because then you get big splatters and your paper is very wet and it's just not a good time. I prefer this. Now for my sandwich for the embossing folder. Oh, this is the one I'm going to use, by the way. Tile Reflection. Beautiful embossing folder. If you have the new plate system by Spellbinders, there's going to be instructions on the sandwich you need for your platinum machine. I, however, don't have the new plate system. So what I use is this old Sizzix plate that is very dirty and damaged, and 2 sheets of cardstock, and that is the perfect sandwich for me. Just try. It's the only tip I have for you. Just experiment with your embossing folders and your die cutting machine, because the older your machine is, the more pressure you will probably need to add. Machines get tired. And there you have it. Perfect impression and no cracking. Yeah, why is that spot in the center not focusing? That is very annoying. I don't know. I probably won't be able to fix it. Might just be my camera. Now you can see that this is a lot bigger than a card. Ooh, the back is pretty too. I always cut my embossing panels a lot bigger than I need them to be. Well, a lot bigger. I make them a little bit bigger because the edges are going to not be straight anymore once you've embossed it, because the paper warps to add height to it, to add dimension. The paper warps and that takes volume away from the edges. You don't want that. So I just trim it a little after I'm done with it. Now I'm gonna trim this a lot actually, because I am not gonna make a full-size card panel with this. That's probably good. Now let's just make it straight. Okay. I'm gonna do some ink blending on this. I hope I measured that correctly, but I think I did. That edge doesn't look straight. Why does that edge not? It's straight. Okay. I'm gonna do some ink blending on this. There they are. With my beautiful Concord and Ninth inks. I'm gonna go for teals. That should do it. And my ink blending mat. And the only other thing I need is this beauty. The inkstand. I did remember to link that one below, just at the last second. So if you need that, I highly recommend it. Especially for these ink cubes. I really like it. Blending brushes. And the idea is to put this flower on here somewhere. And I want this area to be darker than that one. So we're just gonna blend up. And I did the embossing folder first, because that way, once you're ink blending, you're going to enhance the texture a little bit from the embossing folder. The raised areas are going to be darker, and what is right around the raised areas is going to be a little bit lighter. If you want a more even look for your ink blending, you can do it before you emboss. Now I'm not going to blend all the way up. That's why I took, that's why I used some colored cardstock. And I'm going slightly on a diagonal because my flower is also going to be on a diagonal. And also, anytime I can avoid being straight, I do it. Ooh. Should have taped this down. That's not good. Now the darker colors. I love the Concord and Nine things. They are just such beautiful colors. I actually really like that they're not expanding, that they haven't expanded their collection yet. Because I think the ones they have now are perfect, and it makes choosing an ink color a lot easier. Now inks do dry back a little bit, so I always try to go a little more heavy-handed than I actually want it to be. So let's go back in with that lighter ink. Okay, back with the darker one. And then the final one, Midnight. This is very juicy. When I re-inked this last time, which was months ago, by the way, when I re-inked these, I added a little bit too much ink. Well, I'm loving that look. It does look a little bit more bright blue on camera. That's not YouTube's fault. My camera really likes to make things brighter than they are. Muted blues and muted reds especially. I'm gonna make it a little bit darker. Well, not that much darker. But it was because I put it on like that. It's like it's not a blend, so I'm gonna shift it upwards a little bit. Okay. My little blending surface for someone who doesn't watch my videos. Wow. This is just a laminated sheet of white cardstock. Any slick surface is going to help you with ink blending. But this is very cheap. And you can make as many as you want. And it's also very easy to clean. Just run it under the tap and you're gonna be golden. It's not a smooth blend there. Okay. Yeah. Now I don't like, and I knew this was gonna happen. I don't like the white here. So I'm gonna try to find a matching shade of marker. And I'm gonna color this in a color that somewhat matches the background. Because this is an ombre background, it's gonna be darker in some places than the background. I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm just gonna do with some dark blue color. Just something that's not stark white. Let's get my swatch charts back again. Oh, here they are still. And I'm gonna put this guy away. My blues. And if you're matching it to cardstock, it's really easy because you can just hold the cardstock over top of one. That's too bright. That one might be a good match, but it's a little light. You can also mix colors. But am I gonna get into that? I'll try this one. Oh, there I go again, searching for markers. PB5. Was it PB5? Yes. And BG6. Does BG7 work too? Because I have that one. Okay. BG7. Let's put this one away, otherwise I get inky fingers. Now I'm just gonna color in the whole thing. Well, all the whites. There's actually a lot of it, which is why it bugs me so much. That means it's also a lot more work to get rid of it. You can foil on darker cardstock and you wouldn't have this issue, but then you also can't color it in with markers. So am I liking that color match? Not too much. If I go over it, yeah, that's the stuff. The stuff. Okay. Even if it's not an exact match, it's not going to be white, so it's already better. Okay, I'm going to switch my markers every time. I just wanted to test it out. Should have probably tested it on a separate sheet of cardstock, but no one ever said I was smart. I should have thought about some topics to talk about while I'm coloring. Aw, thanks. I'm happy you like the blue. It does look better in real life than I am seeing it on my screen because it's a little bit brighter there. But I'll take it. I'm already surprised I got this far with the YouTube live. Last few times I did an Instagram live, my internet failed me a little bit, which also wasn't fun. Now, if you're smarter than I am, you would put something under this to protect your work surface, but alas. I really like that these leaves foil solid gold. It's a nice addition to the flowers that are just outlined. Spellbinders is really smart with their hot foil plates. And with their dies. I haven't been collecting Spellbinders for long, but somehow my collection has grown a lot. I think I started in August, so a couple months. For anyone watching this on replay that is from the EU, you can get Spellbinders in UK now, so it might be a little easier for delivery stuff. I think I forgot to add the UK links to the description. But if it sees that you're not from if the website sees that you're not from the US or from Canada, it will offer you to, or it will lead you to the UK website. This was a lot more coloring than I thought it would be. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely worth the extra step. But I think this is boring to watch, so I apologize. I'm gonna have to go over it again. This was a mistake. to do on a live, I mean. But the card will be simple to put together at least. So there's that. Oh no, I lost my cap. That's never happened before. There it is. It rolled away. Sometimes layering two markers together is the way to go for a color match, because this is actually really perfect. Very happy with that. Okay, we're halfway there, guys. We can do this. Is anyone else crafting along, by the way? Because I did title it Craft With Me. It was kind of an instruction I should have mentioned. Almost done, I promise. We can get back to card making in a second. Well, that had to happen at some point. It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. Nice. Done. I did get a little bit of green here. Just gonna take a colorless blender, take that off. Done. I like it much better than the white. Let's move these out of the way. Didn't know they were in the way before. Okay. Now I do have these white sentiment strips. Is that gonna bother me? No. Simple answer. No. I have to grab one little thing. Give me a second. I think it's a rule for a live that I have to forget at least one thing. If I even prepare anything in advance. And this time the thing is cardboard. I want to prop this panel up. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Ooh, your 5th cookie. Eating ramen. You can knit your ramen. Why not? What was I saying? All right, to prop large panels up, I like to back them with cardboard. That way I recycle, and also I don't waste my foam tape. So this is probably the exact same size as my panel, and I don't like that because it means I have to be very precise when gluing it down, but also you can very easily see the sides of the cardboard that way. And people have pointed out, usually I use white cardboard. I cut a piece of brown cardboard just for you guys. People say that, oh, I'm lucky to have found the white cardboard because otherwise it would show through, or you'd notice the grungy sides of it, and that would be awful. First of all, it's not awful, it's just cardboard. But also, if you cut it a little bit smaller than your panel, no one is going to notice. You have to really look that way to your card to notice it. And who's going to look at a card that way? No one. No, not a white background. Why didn't I think of a darker shade of cardstock? Might be nice on a white background, actually. Huh. No, I might do white. Oh, thank you, Anna. I'm so happy you like it. Now, I always feel like it's a shame to cover up any of that flower with a sentiment strip, but also it's a lot easier to place a sentiment strip over an element because it makes it look like it belongs with the design. Whereas putting it anywhere else can feel a little bit disruptive. Like there. It could work, especially if you cut the dovetails off. But why would you? Cardboard is a great tip. Yes, it is. Thank you. I have been preaching cardboard over foam tape for months now, and I love it. It works great every time. All you have to do, grab some glue. This is just, that's why the little red thingy is on there. This is just recycled packaging from probably a box with crafty items that I got in the mail. Just cover it with glue. Now don't press too hard or you'll get rid of all of that amazing texture from the embossing folder. And don't press on the ink too hard or you'll get inky fingers and that will get all over the white, because of course it will. Okay. I really thought I was going to go with a darker matting on this card, but I'm liking the white. Now I'm going to back this with foam tape. Let's see. Here it is. I am not going to cover the whole thing. These flyaway vines, leaves, I like to zhuzh them up a little bit, like Laura Fedora would say. So I'm going to leave them not adhered. And then I can just, yeah, this tape is not great for tearing, but I refuse to use my scissors for this. And then I can just bend those leaves upwards. That's what I was gonna say. And then I interrupted myself. Here we go. Now for the sentiment strips, I also want some foam tape, but as you can see, the foam tape is way too wide for that. What I do is I put foam tape, this is the same foam tape, just cut down, on some parchment paper or baking paper. And then you basically have a backing on both sides. And then it's really easy to trim down with your scissors. Nothing will stick. And I don't have to buy foam squares anymore. Which is great because the dollar store type store I got from Action is where I got it from, but none of the Americans know what that is. Anyway, it's a really cheap store, and it used to carry foam squares, and now it doesn't anymore. So, oh, should I put the Just For You first? With love, just for you. No, that works. Is that on straight? I think so. Looking better and better. You flatterer. You're already getting the card for the funniest comment. I don't like that the sentiments are so centered, but oh well. Now, embellishments. Because of course. How long has this been going on for? Can I see it anywhere? Ooh, okay. The time is right there. 1 hour and 8 minutes. I don't know how long I can do a live for on YouTube. Let's see. I have been really enjoying the look at my great storage. This is the lid of a Ferrero Rocher box. It's great for storing sequins and embellishments. I've been really enjoying the glitter drops from Pinkfish Studio. They're so shiny. I like that gold, but I also like these gold gems from, what is this? Oh no, I don't know. I'll think of it in a second. Pretty Pink Posh, that's what they're from. Or blue gems, but that might be too blue. Yeah, that's gonna be too blue. I'm gonna veto the blue gems if anyone chose those. These are really pretty as well. But I think the silver clashes with the gold. Okay, so it's between those two, and don't say all of them. I know you. I'm gonna figure out the placement, and I can swatch them out or swap them out if someone disagrees with me picking the gems. Jewel picker. Oh, right. This is an embossed. I always want to add gems also on embossed backgrounds, but then I remember they're embossed and that it's really hard to add anything to that. So let's try. I'm gonna try to follow the curve of this floral cluster. With gems, it's probably one of the most asked questions on any card making video. How do you add gems or embellishments? Just add them around the object you want to highlight. So if you really want to highlight the sentiments, just add them around those. Probably like the way they were before, but I don't like the way these are. Maybe just 2 here. And a tinier one. Okay. Nice. Okay, so this isn't adhering down, if you didn't notice. It's because the ink is still wet. It's not because of the foam tape or because of the texture of the embossing folder. It's really just because the ink is still wet. So I'll probably have to adhere it again tomorrow. For my embellishments, I use Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. I probably forgot to link that below as well. But it's a lot stronger than the Barely Arts glue. So I very much prefer it for my embellishments so that none of them get lost in the mail. Because the glitter and glam is obviously the best part of a card. And if you want to add an embellishment in the valley of an embossing folder or in between 2 raised areas, just add more glue. It works. Should I add something to the center of those flowers? Because I just realized I forgot to color them in. Maybe. Let's see. Maybe not the glitter drop. What else do I have? A little pearl. No. A glitter drop. And that will finish the card. Well, again, I will have to adhere the flower cluster again tomorrow, but that's my fault. No. All done. My very first YouTube live. I'm very happy that it worked, I think. I'm very sad that the image quality isn't great, but we'll figure it out another time. I really like how this card turned out. I hope you like it too. I really love the colors of this. And that Glimmer hot foil plate was very fun to color in. So thank you very much for joining me. I was very nervous about this, so I'm very happy that people showed up. Extremely grateful. Yeah, that was it. I never know how to end these things, but I'm just gonna say goodbye and go. So thank you so much for watching. I am going to try to make this available for replay. Let's see if that works. And yeah, I hope to see you next time. Bye.